All right, hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Dorothy. Today I would like to talk to you about the planet Jupiter in the sign of Virgo. Now it's going to be in the sign of Virgo for one whole year, which means it will move into Libra in September 2016. So right now, while it is in the sign of Virgo in this whole year, let me give you a little bit of details about what that means, and then I will also move through with Jupiter in Virgo through each of the houses. In the section below, in the comment section below, you'll be able to click on a live timestamp, and it will take you to whatever house that you know you have it in for yourself, if you know your chart well enough, because there's always these extra influences. All right, so to begin with, Jupiter is all about expansion. We know that Sagittarius is natural, the ruler of Sagittarius in the natural order of the chart. But in the sign of Virgo, that's about details and focusing in on the daily routine. That Jupiter energy tends to be, it's all about getting bigger, and it's all about expanding, and what is the big picture, and what are my philosophical beliefs and metaphysical beliefs, and my higher education, and how I'm learning and exposing myself to other cultures in the world, and really focusing in on that great big picture. And Virgo, of course, is all about the details. Right now, while I'm recording this, the sun is in the sign of Virgo. We just had an eclipse in the sign of Virgo. So that Virgo energy is definitely being hit hard in September 2015, because we really are needing to focus on the details. So how does this thing that's big and expansive come back down to a daily activities and daily focus? It's not going to be easy. Jupiter's used to being expansive. So what we get, and it's been in this sign for a few months, or for a month or so already, but depends on when you're reading this or watching this, so I guess that sentence is irrelevant at this point. But Jupiter, expansive, looking at the bigger picture. How do I want to use that? What I would recommend in one of the ways is just to look at your long-term goals. What are your long-term goals for your life? A year down the road, 10 years down the road, more like 10 years. What are those goals looking like? Set that, title that, and then underneath it, start doing bullet points. It's like writing a book. There's a title, and then start bullet pointing things. Virgo would be so thrilled for this, because this is what Virgo is all about. It's about organizing and making lists and doing the little things and the little steps every day that we need to towards the ultimate long-term goal. This is one way we're going to use this energy of Jupiter in the sign of Virgo. Get a game plan, and you can use it in every single category, whether it's your health. Virgo will love that too. It's all about daily living, daily health. You can do it in your career, whether you want a home, where you want to live, any subject. Set a long-term goal right now, and over the next year, while Jupiter is moving through the sign of Virgo, you will be able to pick at it one step at a time. It's about being extremely present, even with long-term goals in mind. It's a very centering practice. I find that Virgo energy in my life, and with the eclipses that we've had in September 2015, that Virgo energy, it is more and more about being very, very present in today's world, very present in your own life every single day. We don't have to be doing major things every single day, but if we do one thing every day towards our ultimate goals, this is going to be the best way to use this Jupiter in the sign of Virgo. So feeling very optimistic is one of the energies that we get with this for the whole year, about what our goals are, and definitely being able to accomplish that, moving and taking forward steps. Sometimes we get a little anxious about it because we could get overwhelmed with the details, because Jupiter really does supply us with an abundance of everything and anything that we're looking for. And so let's tap into that. So I want to move on to how this energy of long-term goals and long-term looking ahead, all right, and focusing in on the details can work for each of the houses, all right? So let me move on to that, keep that in mind. Whatever keywords sounded great for you, go back, listen again if you like, in this first section, and write keywords down. This is the best way to do it when you're getting an overload of information. Here's another true. When you're getting an overload of information and you're trying to glean out of what I'm saying that's going to fit your life, best for you just to listen a few times, and then write the keywords down that make sense to you, because not everything makes sense to everybody. Because with this Jupiter energy, somebody could really be focusing on long distance travel and going to foreign countries, and for other people they might have absolutely no interest in that. So focus in on these things. And now let me get started on each of the houses. Okay, so with Jupiter moving through the first house, this is an opportunity to really discover who you are, understand who you are, and actually to start expanding yourself back out into the world if you're not very much out into public very often. You know, this is an opportunity to do that. We also need to be very, very careful of our expanding waistlines when Jupiter hits the ascendant and comes into the first house, because Jupiter is about expansion. But Virgo is with us, and that just means that if you pay attention to what you do every single day, the weight won't creep up, and you can focus in on those long-term goals as to how you want to get out into the world, out into the public eye, if that is something that's appropriate for you. All right? So it's all about the self, expanding the self, feeling more comfortable in your own skin, and really moving out into the world. That is Jupiter in Virgo moving through the first house. Next. Okay, Jupiter in the second house. So Jupiter and Virgo in the second house. That tends to, when Jupiter moves through that sector, it increases, lots of times it will definitely increase our wealth. It will increase the work that we do that we love, because that second house represents how we use our skills and talents to earn a living. So if you have a hobby going on and it's only making a little bit of money, you can actually take this year now and expand it into something that could really make you a nice amount of money, something that's very comfortable for you. That second house is our value system as well. So you might decide that, well, you might be buying a lot of things and purchasing things. But what I really like is this hobby piece. So if you have a hobby and you really want to expand it out into the world and earn some money at it and change that into an income in a business, as opposed to just having a hobby, then focus in on those Virgo details, on what you can do every single day to advance yourself to creating a big business, or a business that gets you out there and you can earn some money at. Okay? All right. Now, Jupiter moving into the third house. With Jupiter in the third house, that is the sector of the chart where we are all about its communication. It's our siblings, it's our local neighborhood, it's the car, it's Mercury's natural home, Gemini's natural home, so it's very chatty. Jupiter can expand all of that activity for us. It will give us a lot to do. It'll be a busy year of learning, because that area is all about learning lots of little things. It can be overwhelming, so we definitely have to engage that Virgo energy. So engage that Virgo energy and slow it down and focus in on the details. Because with Jupiter moving through that third house, communication is just going to be back and forth very, very quickly throughout the year. Virgo wants us to slow it down and focus in on the details. So do that for yourself. Make sure throughout the year, if you start to get overwhelmed, that you just slow it down. And that's going to be very, very important for you. Now, some people will be very, very mundane about it. They might actually buy a car that's too big for them. They might spend a little too much money on a new car. Those are extra ways that we would use that energy. Okay, moving on to the fourth house. And with Jupiter moving through the fourth house, lots of times when Jupiter gets into that sector, we tend to, wherever we live, we're either going to expand the home, we're going to remodel the home, or it is an opportunity to move. Now, when we have it in the sign of Virgo, that means we're going to be very particular about where we live. We're going to, and most people are, but this is going to be on, it's going to be amped up a little bit, this energy. And so focusing in on home and family, and even for some people, Jupiter moving through this sector will expand their home, expand their family. So focus in on, I'm saying focus in on a lot because it is the details that we need to focus in. The bigger picture is your home is expanding, where you live is going to expand in some way, or you're going to spend a fair amount of money remodeling something. And your family can expand. All right, whether it's just you have cousins come live with you or you're having children of your own, something about your home is going to shift and change. And it could very well be that you have to move some distance for your work even. So these things are all things that will happen when Jupiter moves through there. We've got a whole year. Not everything will happen for everybody, like I said in the beginning, but focus back in on those details to slow your energy down, to become more present. That's the most important thing. But family, home and family is definitely going through a shift and change for you while Jupiter's moving through there. And again, Jupiter's usually, it's always beneficial. Okay? All right. All right, Jupiter in the 5th house. Creativity increases. Our relationships with our children can become better. Love relationships, those love affair type relationships, those will increase as well. You know, and I already said creativity, but I love that piece of it because with Jupiter moving through that house, we're able to really create the things that we're passionate about. And I love that piece when Jupiter moves through there once every 12 years. It's comfortable. It's just, we really can feel that sense of passion and what we want to give to the world. And how do you manage this? Because again, it helps, it wants us to focus in on those long-term goals. What can I do for the future? What do I want this to look like? Focusing in that present moment, focusing in on the details. I want you to make sure and pull yourself back once in a while. So Jupiter is already in that sector for you now, because I put this out a little late. So Jupiter is already in that sector for you. It just means that it's time for you to, you're probably getting overwhelmed with too many things going on. Slow it down, take a step back, especially during retrograde times, and focus in on the details like I mentioned in the beginning. So if your children, you want to have a better relationship with your children, how can you do that? Take one little step towards it. If you are creative and you want to expand that out into the world, this is an opportunity to do that. Take one step. How? Even if you don't know how to do it, research it and see how you can take whatever you are passionate about and present it to the world, or find out what you're passionate about. Again, one step at a time. And then the love affair piece, well, maybe you have a lot of lovers that in that year. I don't know that part. That's personal. That will be your call. But what it really comes down to is that, you know, we're happy, we're joyous, we want to express our passion in whatever field it is, whatever department we want to express it in. So stay present and look at it on a daily piece, and then we'll reach those long-term goals. All right, Jupiter moving into the 6th house. Now this is Virgo's natural home. So if you have that there, then, you know, actually that's a good thing, but it will increase a whole bunch of things. And what that will increase, because Jupiter, like I've already mentioned, is expansion. And Virgo is, let me focus on the details. So the 6th house is represented by our daily routines, our daily work. You're going to hear these things. It's all Virgo stuff. Our health too, so our daily living health, you know, brushing teeth, eating well, foods we're allergic to or not allergic to. When Jupiter moves through the 6th house, it usually guarantees that we have really good health, with the exception of, like, when it hits the ascendant, we could gain weight, so we need to be careful of that. So watch your weight every single day, watch what you eat every day. This is how we use Jupiter in the 6th house for the physical body. Pay attention. Do something every day to stay moving so you don't gain weight. You can gain weight, but only if it's muscle, right? Because that takes up less space. Less is more, right? I already said that. So that's what we can do with this Jupiter moving through the 6th house. Less is more. It doesn't matter what the scale says. It's the girth. I hear you. And when it comes to our daily routine and our daily work, you're going to have an opportunity here to really expand and show what you're worth, and show your boss and your co-workers what you've got going on And you're going to be able to do this every day, and eventually that should help to increase. Usually people get a raise, earn more money when Jupiter is moving through their 6th house. So focus on those things. If any of those things sound right for you, write it down and then keep an eye on it. Make some notes, put it out somewhere so you can remember that. Be present. Be here, be now, be present. That's always what Virgo's about anyways. So good job for you. Good work, good health for this year, September to September. All right, Jupiter moving through the 7th house in the sign of Virgo. So this sector is about our partnerships, our one-to-one relationships. So when Jupiter moves through this sector, it doesn't necessarily mean marriage, because there has to be some other indicators for that. But what it does mean is, like, if you are in a marriage, then it tends to make things move easier and are smoother, because you get to really engage with each other on a daily basis, because married life gets busy sometimes with children and etc., all those other things, and you forget to connect with each other. So this is a great opportunity to connect with your partner on a daily basis. All right. What else is good with this is, we can look at other professionals and other professionals that we need to engage with, like consulting, business partnerships, somebody else that has knowledge that you need to use. This is a great opportunity to focus in on that and to engage with those people if that is needed. Don't forget those long-term goals, like I mentioned in the beginning. It's important to have long-term goals in regards to your partnerships and your relationships and what it is that you're looking for. Whether you're looking to open a new business and you want a partner to help you with that, or you're involved with somebody and you're hoping that by the end of the a year or so you will have a marriage. Setting those long-term goals and then planning it in your daily routine. And that, again, is what this is all about. So less is more. And when we get to work with that piece, I want you just to really focus in on what it is that you need out of others. So if you're seeking something with different partners throughout the year, make sure you have that list made and that those goals set for yourself. Okay, with Jupiter in Virgo moving through the 8th house. Now the 8th house is represented by outside resources, other people's resources that we're able to use. And so with Jupiter focusing in on that, it's going to expand these opportunities for you. So what does that mean, outside resources? That means, if you need to get a mortgage or a second mortgage or extend some credit. You can also focus in on business partnerships. I know the 7th house is like that too, but this is, those business partnerships where people will support you. Those are outside resources. The one thing we do need to be cautious of is if we're borrowing too much. But that sign of, Jupiter in the sign of Virgo is a pretty good chance we won't overextend ourselves. But again, set some long-term goals as to what you want your financial history to look like, or what you want your finances to look like in the future. When we have this Jupiter moving through this sector, those outside resources are very, very important, whether it's financial or emotional, psychological. People usually get a lot of support behind them. So if you're looking to do something, start a business, or you have some project that you like to have a lot of support, this is going to be a fabulous time. While Jupiter transits through your 8th house, fabulous time to get that started. So I'll repeat myself once a day, every day, do a little something that will set you and help you take steps towards that long-term goal. All right? Excellent. Okay, now, next, Jupiter moving into the 9th house. Now, Jupiter in Virgo. Jupiter owns the 9th house. That's its natural home, so it's actually kind of comfortable there. It's not so comfortable in Virgo in its own home, but it still has a little bonus for being there. So Jupiter in the 9th house I'm stumbling, is all about expanding my awareness, expanding my education, foreign travel, foreign cultures, really enriching my life through any of these processes. But you've got Virgo in that sector, and you're used to it. You've always had Virgo in that sector. If Jupiter's transiting there now, that's where it's been your whole life. Virgo has been in your 9th house. So you're not necessarily so keen on going out into the world, but you might pick up a book and read about a country, or you might meet somebody in your area while you're taking some classes. Someone from a foreign country gives you an education on foreign cultures. So if you're out there in the world, you probably, what you're looking at mostly with this Jupiter transiting through this sector is you have some sort of new interest in foreign cultures, a new interest in learning things that are metaphysical and psychological, really digging into some of these things for yourself. And if that's the case, it is overwhelming. The more you start to investigate these things, is the more you realize you don't know, and that can be overwhelming, especially in this learning process that the ninth house is all involved in. So take it one step at a time, just like I've said with all the other houses. One step at a time every day. Do a little something towards the long-term goal. It's like whatever that happens to be for you in regards to education, expanding your mind, expanding your knowledge, foreign cultures, and really just enriching your life with new information. This is a great year for you. Okay, so Jupiter in the 10th house. So when Jupiter moves into the 10th house, our career is highlighted and our public image is highlighted. With this energy being highlighted, that means the career is expanding. If you have Virgo in that sector, well, which you do, because you do, if Virgo is in your 10th house, then that just means that you're most likely somebody who's in charge, most likely somebody who is about, keeping records, you're in charge of others. It's usually the careers like bookkeeping or healthcare, the details of those jobs are very, very important. Jupiter moving through that sector is definitely going to be focusing in on you folks who have careers that are in healthcare, and you folks who have those careers that are like office managing or just working in an office, because you guys are, it's very important to keep records and keep those details. Jupiter moving through there tends to mean that you're going to get a lot of attention, whether it's time for you to get a raise or time for you to step up into a more responsible position, or if it's time for you to find something different because you're not able to expand anymore and you're feeling stifled. Because both of those can happen. But Jupiter moving through that sector in the sign of Virgo still tells us that it is all good. So even if you were to get a raise and get a new position, that's as good as you being let go or you deciding you need to leave a job and go find something else because you need to expand. This is an opportunity to truly expand a lot in your career from September to September. So good job. Set those goals. Be present and focus and pay attention every single day. All right. Next. 11th house. So when Jupiter's in the 11th house, that 11th house represents our hopes and dreams. It's social things that are important to us, groups, things we can volunteer for, and our friends. And so when Jupiter's moving through that sector, our friend list is going to increase. We may find that we have some extra responsibilities in the clubs that we belong to, or we might even just do some long distance travel. Jupiter in Virgo moving through this sector to me can actually represent, somebody taking a year off and heading out, into the world, Doctors Without Borders, Greenpeace, any of those things where we just go and we do something for a whole year because our heart is into this cause, into something that is just important to us. And so Jupiter moving through that 11th house will highlight that if that's part of your life. Now, if it isn't, it's also the 11th house represents those hopes and dreams, a lot of hopes and dreams. And so if you've not ever set goals for yourself, now would be a great time to do it. Everybody's different. So if you've never set a goal for yourself, this is an opportunity right now, whenever you're listening to this, to do that, to really see and set what do I want my life to look like in 5 years, 10 years, and start accomplishing that. What creates passion in my life? What gets that fire going? And if it's nothing is the answer, then you need to seek that out and find out what it is. Be present. Do this every single day, but be present. That's the key with Jupiter and Virgo. We have all this expansion going on and everything I just mentioned to you, but the details are what's going to count and what's going to get us there one step at a time. Because again, the big picture can be overwhelming sometimes. but shoot for the stars and make that, yeah, do that for yourself. And then take one little step at a time for it. Okay? All right. Jupiter in the 12th house. So Jupiter used to be the ruler of Pisces, of the 12th house, before we knew Neptune was there, before we had telescopes. So Jupiter's comfortable in that sector of the chart too. So if you now have Jupiter in your 12th house, the things that will be, that will come and start to expand, there you go, I'm spitting this out, is Piscean things. And what they are is your spirituality will start to increase. You're going to want to understand the philosophical, you're going to want to have philosophical understandings of what you believe. Your belief system might go through a shift and change. Those things, also the things that you hide from yourself, are coming up to the surface, so you're able to examine them. Doesn't mean it's public, because it's not. It's the 12th house. It's the things that we hide even from ourselves. But with Jupiter gently moving through that sector, he is a big lumbering, yes, gas giant, but he is. He's in Virgo, so he wants you to set some long-term goals and then do something every single day. So what can we do every single day using that Virgo energy from the 12th house? You can meditate every single day. And you don't have to meditate for hours. Try 5 minutes. Try just taking, every once in a while, just stopping and taking 3 conscious breaths. This is what Jupiter in Virgo in the 12th house can mean for you. All right? It's expanding your awareness as far as how you are spiritual, metaphysical, what you believe in, but it will also expand your fears and your hidden skills and hidden talents. Hidden fears, hidden talents. Okay? So anything that is hidden from you is going to start to expand out while Jupiter is moving through that sector from September to September. And with it in the sign of Virgo, we can move through these things that are fearful for us, or move through these things that are exciting for us, and we can start to create what we want in our life. We do that by focusing in on it every single day. Just a little bit. I mean, I'm not giving you a big chore here. This is your life, but do what you will. But this is the energy of Jupiter in Virgo moving through the 12th house. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope I haven't talked too fast. Just take notes if you have to. But basically what it all comes down to is now's the time to set some long-term goals for ourselves. And now's the time to make living a daily practice. Focus every day on what you're doing. Be very aware. Like currently, I mean, I'm aware that my feet are on the floor, my ankles are touching. You know, I can feel the bracelet on my wrist. I can feel the earrings in my ears. I mean, be aware. Even while I'm talking, I'm very aware of what's around me. Now, I get unconscious here and there, just like everybody else. But the main thought and the main idea here is to really focus in on the details of the day. And Jupiter is here just to give us that boost of optimism. And that is what we need for this year, because it's just been, a lot of people have had some rough times. So if we focus in on the optimism and the jovial energy of Jupiter, and then use that Virgo energy, which is all about presence, that's what we really need to focus on, no matter where it is in our chart. If you need to know more and you want to know specifics, please come to me at nhastrologer.com. This is the call to action. You're more than welcome to call and set up your own private session, because you get lots of great information that way, and that is what I do. Yes, it is, and I love it. Working my passion. Thank you very much. I hope you find your passion too. Blessed be. Namaste.